The Keto Glo.
Hi friends, welcome back to the Keto Glow Up. Thank you for joining me for episode 3. Today I'm going to jump into both some cooking and a quick chat about why I stopped tracking my macros, and then for this week why I didn't track my weight. So first things first, I'm going to start cooking because I'm hungry. Today I'm making some turkey burgers. Got my ground turkey meat. I bought these in a pack of, I think it came in 3 or 4 from Costco. I highly recommend that if you're trying to do the keto diet, to try to get your meat in bulk and either season it and stick it in the freezer or stick it in the freezer as is. It's just cheaper to get your meat in bulk, whether it's chicken, turkey, beef, seafood, whatever. That first week I bought, I think it was mostly just chicken, like different cuts of chicken. I got chicken thighs, I got chicken breasts. I don't really do wings or drumsticks that often. Regardless, I learned my lesson week 2 and went bulk. So I have this gigantic bag. I can actually show you because I'm right here. Gigantic bag of chicken breasts. They're individually, I don't know if it's 1 per little packet thingy. I actually haven't opened this yet because I'm still finishing off the chicken I bought before. And I have another pack of organic frozen turkey that I may or may not use this week. I'm actually not sure. I'm doing zucchini boats on Tuesday, so I'm just looking at I'm right next to the fridge, so I have my meal list for the week, like I showed before. Today is Sunday, so I'm doing the turkey burgers. Tuesday I'm doing zucchini boats, but I'm pretty sure I bought ground chicken for that, and so I don't think I'm going to take that pack of turkey out the freezer this week. Maybe do something with it next week, not sure yet. Figure it out later. Anyway, so I'm going to dump my ground turkey into my bowl. I've got my fancy, I always watched like other people cooking on YouTube, and they always had these freaking beautiful like clear mixing bowls. And I said, next time I move, I'm gonna get a set, and I did it. Treat yourself. So I'm just gonna season this up real quick, and also I'm using my cast iron pot, so I'm gonna get that hot now. Just medium-high heat. Don't burn a place down. I just bought I was supposed to get this before, but I didn't like the prices. I can't remember where I found this. It might have been Prime now. But anyway, pink Himalayan rock salt. I don't want to use that little spoon area because that's how you end up putting way too much stuff in there. So I'm just going to sprinkle some of that. That was probably more than I needed because it is not fine ground, but we'll roll with it. Some thyme. You could pretty much put whatever you want in your burgers. I'm going to season it the way I've been seasoning it for, I don't even know how many years I've been cooking. I'm not a professional chef, so don't feel a way about whatever you see happen right now. Just sprinkling some paprika. Fair amount of that. I like the way paprika makes the meat a little smoky. I don't know, smoky, whatever. Some oregano. I'm using all dried herbs. Feel free to use fresh. The taste is definitely way better, but for the sake of like, I don't use herbs every single time that I cook. It's just easier to have the dry herbs on hand. That was basil. Got some onion and some garlic powder. I'm also not using measurements because I grew up in a West Indian household and that's not a thing we do. Unless I'm following a like specific recipe, I'm not taking my measuring spoons or cup out. I'm seasoning how it feels right. What's that meme? You sprinkle until your ancestors say enough, child. Just go with it. It's fine. So while I'm doing this, black pepper. While I'm doing this, I'm just gonna let you guys know that I have officially stopped tracking my macros. I'm gonna tell you why. The app I was using, the Keto diet, I don't know what the actual name of the app was, but when I first started using it, I was like, cool, this is pretty easy, but it's because I was doing things like string cheese from a well-known company, 2 medium-sized boiled eggs, super basic things where I could like scan the barcode on something and know exactly how many macros I had consumed for the day. But then when I started making more recipes, I guess, so things that weren't necessarily that easy to track, I'm gonna angle this down so that you guys can see what's happening down here. So I just got my little workstation. See all my seasonings on top. I don't like the, wow, breaking everything. I don't like the feeling of cold meat, cold raw meat, cold meat, whatever. So I'm mixing this with a just my little wooden spoon. Anyway, once I started getting into more recipes, where it was like a dash of this and a little bit of that, or I'd be upping something a little more, whatever, where things weren't 100% exact, especially before I bought my food scale, it was really hard to figure out what the quantity of things were. And then if it was something that was prepared, like I did a chocolate pudding with avocado and cacao powder, and I think stevia or erythritol, I still can't say it right, stevia and or whatever the other sugar replacement is. It felt like it was just really inaccurate, or I was putting in what was already pre-made and it just, like, I could tell that the count was off. And so it didn't make sense to be spending all this time. First of all, it took me forever to even find what I was looking for. It didn't make sense to me to spend several minutes like trying to figure out which of the options was right. So I just gave up. But by the second week, I had pretty much figured out what foods I should be eating and like how much of each thing. Because with any diet, you know that you shouldn't be like overdoing it for anything. I'm gonna put this to the side because what I really want is to get some fresh onion in here. So this is my mandolin. Which blade? I want a julienne. I guess this one. I don't like cutting onion, y'all, so I got this mandolin. Not necessarily specifically for cutting onion, but it definitely makes it significantly easier. As I was saying, it felt like I was spending more time trying to figure out which of the already done ingredients in the app I needed to have correct. But by week 2, I was more or less comfortable with like how much of each thing that I needed to be eating. So like not overdoing it on the meats. My cutting and shit. Not overdoing it with the cheeses. And then I wasn't overdoing it with veggies, but I was eating a significant amount of spinach, just for the sake of being satiated. So instead of like reaching for another cheese stick, I would have maybe a quick salad with like spinach, cucumber, and some vinaigrette. I'm just trying to get the peel off. Why is this so hard? I'm already crying. I really hate onion peeling onion, chopping onion. I don't like chopping onion. Peeling onion is not terrible. Alright, set that on there. Make sure that this is facing the right way. If you don't have a mandolin, do yourself a favor, get one. It's because I'm doing it sideways instead of backwards. There we go. Anyway, so that's why I stopped tracking. I have not fallen out of ketosis. I did check about 3 days in after I stopped tracking. I'm still reading in at moderate, which is great. My weight loss is still consistent. A lot of the keto websites will tell you that you need to, like, you absolutely must track your macros. And then others will say, do what feels right for you and what works for you, and that's what I'm doing. If you're doing this diet and you're very much into tracking your macros, do it. This is not me telling you to stop. This is me telling you that it didn't feel beneficial for me. Felt time consuming and inaccurate, so I have stopped. And then the reason I didn't track my weight this week is because it's menstrual week, or was menstrual week. And typically in the past, I don't know how many years that I've actually been paying attention to my adult female body, I gain anywhere from 5 to 10 pounds of water weight. And I know that sounds egregious. It's what happens. I've noticed this on previous diet plans. Oh, my eyes are watering. I like can't see. Where I've been on a diet, been losing weight at a pretty, look at the kitty, at a pretty steady pace. And then my period will come and all of a sudden I've gained 5 pounds, or I've gained 8 pounds, or whatever the number is, and I'm just like, what the heck happened? And then the next week I'm back down to the weight that I was before. And I realized that, like, I gain a significant amount of weight, water weight. It's me retaining salts, and so I tried to lower the amount of salt I'm using the week before, but it doesn't always work. So I was reading at 174 the week before when I last checked, before my period came. Can't get the coconut oil open. I'm using coconut oil for the first time for cooking my turkey burgers. I've just been spraying everything with whatever cooking spray I had on hand, but my coconut oil came yesterday. I can't remember. Anyway, the coconut oil came, so I'm gonna try something different today. Anyway, so when I checked maybe Wednesday of cycle week, I was reading in at 176. So I gained 2 pounds and immediately decided that it didn't make sense to check because it wasn't really an accurate read. It's pretty solid, so I'm gonna grab a spoon. My spoon is too big. Please go away, kitty. I'm trying to cook. There we go. Let's rinse that off real quick. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to tracking maybe starting Tuesday. That's usually when everything kind of goes back to its normal count. Wait, I don't know where I'm going there. I've got a little less than a tablespoon. I'm just gonna smear it around the pot. But that's that. So I feel like I'm gonna continue to not track macros. But we'll be jumping back into doing daily or every other day checks of weight progress. If I feel like or notice that my weight stalls, I'll probably go back to tracking macros just to see where I effed up at. But for now, going into week 3, I cannot believe it's almost a month already. Well, not really, but like I've already gone through 2 weeks. If I feel like I'm not doing as well as I was doing week 1, then I'll go back to tracking. But until then, and hopefully it's not a thing that happens, I'm now forming patties, then I will continue to not track. It's a little damp. Usually when this happens, I would add some flour. I might grind up some pork rinds because it's way too wet. Like, it's sticking to me. Let me see. I'm gonna drop this on the pot and just see what happens. It might be okay. I might leave it as is. Anyway, thank you again for joining me for episode 3. If this is the first episode you're watching, please, please, please go back and watch episode 1 and 2. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Until next time, friends.
The Keto Glo.